What's going on, guys? My name is Omega. Welcome back to the second Apex Legends video of the day. So in today's video, I actually want to talk about some of the patch notes that actually came out with the new Fight Night Collection trailer. I didn't get a chance to cover any of this stuff in the video I uploaded earlier today, so this is going to be a shorter video, kind of just going over some of the new things that we'll be seeing after this update. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually Marvins being added to Olympus. So we do know there's currently one Marvin located on Olympus. After this update, there are apparently going to be many more Marvins added into the game, and they'll actually be able to give you loot after interacting with them. They'll produce tiered loot equal to what's shown on their screens. A white sad face equals common level 1 loot, a blue face equals rare level 2 loot, a purple face equals level 3 loot, and a yellow face equals legendary level 4 loot. It also says if you're feeling toxic, you can shoot the Marvins. When you do, they may drop their arm for you to store in your inventory. Taking this to another Marvin with the missing piece may get you a reward. So apparently killing one Marvin and taking, parts of their body to another one gives you some kind of special reward now on Olympus in Season 7. Now, we actually just got word from Jason McCord on Twitter that Pathfinder's legendary lore skin will not be available in the Fight Night Collection event. Now, what I mean by this is that you're actually going to have to buy this skin separately. You won't be able to get this from a Fight Night Collection pack, so I'm not sure if this is going to be included in a bundle or what the price of this specific skin is going to be, but I do want to let you guys know that it's going to be sold separately from the collection packs. We also have the biggest change of this update being Pathfinder's Town Takeover. It says drop your weapons and get ready for a brawl in Pathfinder's Town Takeover Fight Night style. Entering the ring will prevent any player from using their weapons and any of their abilities. And don't worry about any outside ring interference. No outside projectiles, grenades, or abilities can penetrate the ring's force field. It also says punch out the loot balls contained within the ring to scoop up some rare loot. Just remember you can't use it until you leave. So this is kind of what we guessed from the trailer. As soon as you enter the ring, it doesn't look like you can use any abilities or weapons. This is just an all-out fist war. And I'm going to be super excited to test out all of my heirlooms in this boxing ring. I definitely think they're now going to come in handy. Since we do have like a melee only point of interest on this map, I'm super excited to see how this is going to change the dynamic of Olympus. Like, are more people going to be stuck up in this one little area where they're all trying to punch each other to death, or are people going to kind of ignore it and only do it in the very beginning? Now, in my earlier video today, I did mention that there is going to be a new game mode called Airdrop Escalation Takeover. One thing I didn't realize until reading the patch notes is that this isn't going to be a limited time mode. This is actually going to replace public matches in Apex Legends. So in the description, it says, with this update, we're testing a new approach to LTMs. Instead of launching as its own playlist, the Airdrop Escalation LTM will be a takeover of the normal Play Apex game mode. It's classic battle royale, but with way more supply drops. Immediately after you leave the jump ship, you'll find a cluster of 4 supply drops across the map. During each round, more will drop, and they land at the same speed as Lifeline's care packages. Each supply drop contains a fully kitted weapon of different tiers depending on the round. For example, round 1's drop feature level 2 kitted weapons, while round 4's drop include red armor and crate weapons. As with regular fully kitted weapons, you can't break them down or swap their attachments onto other weapons, and of course regular weapons will still appear as ground loot. Now, one really interesting thing that we saw from the trailer is that Lifeline actually picked up a flatline that had the anvil receiver attachment on it. Now, in my last video I mentioned how this is probably only going to be with this specific game mode, but since this game mode is now just going to be replacing public matches in general, it looks like a lot of these older hop-up, including Anvil Receiver, will be returning in some way. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to use this in ranked playlists. It looks like this is only for the Airdrop Escalation Takeover mode, which, like I mentioned before, is replacing the regular public matches. Now, coming with this update, we also have a couple changes to some of the legends and the weapons. This isn't going to be like a huge meta-changing update, but definitely giving a little bit of help to, I think, some of the legends and weapons that really do need it. Now, first off, we have another buff to Rampart. As you guys know, in the beginning of Season 7, Rampart did get a buff to her amp cover, in which the deploy time was decreased from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. It also decreased the spin up time for her ultimate from 2 seconds to 1.25 seconds. In this update that we'll be getting on January 5th, amped cover will be buffed again, in which the cooldown will be decreased from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. Now, this is a small change. I don't know if it's what's going to make Rampart top tier, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Caustic is another legend that is getting a small buff on January 5th. If you guys remember from the beginning of Season 7, he actually got a change to his gas traps and his ultimate, in which his gas no longer causes a blur effect while in the gas, but the damage was increased from 6 to 12 damage per tick just to kind of make up for this nerf. Now on January 5th, we're actually going to be getting another buff to Caustic's traps. I know people may be a little bit disappointed to hear that, but the buff that we're going to be getting is a decreased cooldown from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. Basically, this will just allow Caustic to be able to spam more traps, which I guess is what they were trying to do. I'm not sure how that's really going to impact Caustic, but obviously that is going to be making him a little bit better after this change. Now, in terms of weapons that are going to be changed, the Hemlock is actually getting a pretty decent nerf in which the damage was decreased from 22 per bullet to only 20. So this is definitely going to help for people who are really good at spamming single fire with the Hemlock. I think the Hemlock has just been a weapon that was way too overpowered in the beginning of Season 7, so it's definitely nice to see some kind of nerfs coming to this weapon. The Mastiff also got a slight nerf in which the max range was actually decreased a little bit, so you can't really do as much damage from longer range with the Mastiff, but again, the Mastiff is supposed to be only used up close, so definitely not a change that's going to make this weapon garbage or anything. And then finally, we have a change to the Prowler. The Prowler is still a care package weapon, but they actually gave it a buff to how much ammo you can hold. It can now hold 210 bullets versus the 175 it was able to hold before. We also have some brand new quality of life changes that I think are going to be really good for this game. One big thing is that ultimate accelerants can now be used without opening your inventory. If your ultimate is not currently available, just press the button or buttons on a controller to activate it, and you'll pull out any stored accelerant in your inventory and use it automatically. They also apparently added the Mark All As Seen button, which is something that Daniel Klein talked about a couple of weeks ago. This is basically after when you open like a bunch of Apex packs and you have all of these brand new skins and you don't want to go through every single skin. Click on it just to get rid of that like little annoying red dot that shows that you have something new. Now you can just press a button that basically labels all of your new items as seen, so you don't have that annoying little red dot every time you open something new. Pinging the nearest respawn beacon will now always ping the nearest beacon unless you don't have enough time to use it before the ring closes over it, instead of defaulting to the nearest beacon in the next safe ring. Also now be able to know how many treasure packs are needed to acquire the next comic page. Caustic's heirloom should now smash any doors that he's trying to break down instead of him using his leg. And then finally we have a bunch of bug fixes for almost all of the legends that we have in the game right now. That basically concludes everything in these patch notes. If we get any more information before this drops on January 5th, I'll definitely be sure to make a video talking to you guys about what those changes are. But again, thank you guys for checking out today's video. Even though it was the second one of the day, I do appreciate your guys' support. But I will see you guys all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.